It's a Jag. Okay, I've not filmed the removal of the turbo because I have to remove it because, as you can hear, I think it's all rusty inside. But anyway, I'll show you where everything goes, for example. Now, in some videos they say remove the down part. You don't have to. Those bolts were absolutely horrid. These came off easily, so I've just manoeuvred it to one side and just stuck it there. The cat does come out from underneath because it dropped out and nearly fell on my face. But there you go. Well, I don't know, I might decat it, Don't know. I'll think about that one. Then I'm going to carry on with this, and then once I've got it all off, I'll show you how it all goes back together. Okay, got the turbo off with the EGR cooler still attached because I've realised, well, I found out that these tend to snap. So now I'm going to undo these. I've already cracked them open. Oh, another thing I need to mention, that I've just marked it. Did you see that notch there? That little ridge. So I follow that ridge and that's where I've marked it. So when I put it on, it will align with that. Alright, I think I'm going to take this inside to the table, so back in a minute. Okay, all the nuts are off. Used a hammer. Recommend you use a rubber hammer, but I didn't whack it. Don't whack it if you ain't got a rubber hammer. Just slow taps. And hey, it's come out. There it is, all slotted up. Yeah, so it's all nice and loose now. There's no play in that impeller. Just bring the light in. So the problem's going to be in here. See if I can show you. So that's where the notch fits in. Just put that back. So it's not necessarily the surface that's the problem, It looks like got my dog here. It looks like it's this outer edge where it's touching. It looks relatively clean if you ask me. But as you can hear, eek, 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 eek. Now I was expecting, because of that noise, I was expecting rust, but it doesn't look like there's any. It looks relatively clean, to be honest. Okay, we'll find out once I take this ring off. So let me do that. Trying to do this while holding the torch is not easy, but let me see if I can do it. Okay, these wheels, they just pop off. So we'll give those a clean. Take this ring off. Now I've marked here where this notch goes, that's where the arm fits in. So I'll put a mark there. It's interesting, it doesn't look too bad to be honest. Okay, I'll give it a clean and then I'll bring you back in, shoot loads of brake cleaner in there and in there. If you look at it, it's not too bad. There doesn't seem to be any rust. It's just carved up. Alright, we'll give it a clean anyway. Okay, I've cleaned it up a bit. It's not the actual surface. It's the actual veins in there that's sticky. Because some of these don't appear to move very freely. So what I'll do is I'll get some WD-40 tomorrow, because I've run out of brake cleaner now, and I'll just give it a good blast, and I want to try and smooth this up a bit as well. I don't think it's touching that. No, it doesn't touch that. I think it's the ring that moves along in there. So I'll keep you updated. Oh, another thing. When you refit the turbo, I don't think you have to mark it up because there's a little dowel pin there which goes there. And that's how you line it up. So I'll see you in the next part. Getting there now, just another quick note. I nearly lost where the notch bit went, so remember that where your notch goes for your arm, this fits near this empty hole. Luckily I slightly marked it, nearly faded because I've sprayed it, but it seems good. I'm just testing in a minute, I'm not finished yet. Nice and smooth now. And yeah, the track doesn't make contact with that surface, so it's got nothing to do with that. I think it was just catching on some carbon on the side here. Smooth. Well, the bolts are all off. They've never been taken off. Give them a bit of a degrease and then a WD sponge grease as well. Just in case in the future we need to do it again. So I'll let that sit for a bit. Then I use WD alternative and let them sit for a bit, and once I reinstall them I'll apply a bit of grease. I will also video and show you where everything fits, because I couldn't film the removal. It was just, the camera angles would have been terrible, and to be honest it would have taken me a lot longer than it did. So sometimes I like to just get stuck in and just do it. So watch out for the next episode. Okay, the turbo is all clean now, and I'm just going to show you how it all fits together because I didn't film the removal. So first of all, on top you've got 4 bolts that connect to the cat. Obviously you'll see these anyhow. There's one there, and 2 there, so there's 4 in total. They're 15mm. Obviously the cat fits here, and that blocks all these bolts, so you need to get the cat off really. And once you've got the cat off, bring the light in here. They are raining. And then you've got a total of 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts to remove. That one I know is missing because the stud is still in the engine, so because some of these nuts were stuck and they just come out with the studs, which is no big deal really. You can just put it back in. These 2 here tend to snap, so I would say leave the EGR cooler in, because you'll just cause yourself some trouble trying to get that off. There's a coolant pipe that fits on the back there, that needs to come off. That end of the coolant pipe fits onto the thermostat, so you need to remove that. There's, I think that bolt is either, I'm not sure you have to get that off actually. Yeah, it's better you get that off so you can get it out of the way, so you can get to this bolt here. So I think that's 8mm I believe, and then you've got 2 8mm for the EGR cooler. What else have we got? That's about it. Oh no, it's not it actually. I'm lying. Hang on. Which way? So then also obviously you got your feed pipes. Oh, I'm lost where I am now. The feed pipe. Ah, yes. Obviously, it's on the turbo. So, say if this was back in there, you've got your feed pipe there, which is a 13, and then you've got your drain pipe, which is 2 8mm ones, and that's normally sat right underneath, so you'd have to feel for those. Once that's done, and that's it, you can just pull the turbo off. But the main thing is get your cat off first. Once you've got that off, you can pretty much get it off quite easily. What else am I going to talk about? So, I've cleaned up the turbo now. That's nice and clean. So that was free moving. As you can see, it's lovely and shiny now. Nice and clean. All the veins are no longer sticky. As you can see, they're nice and loose now. And it's just a case of putting it all back together now. However, I must say this one here has still got a bit of notchiness in it. And it's just that one, all the rest are fine. So it's just this one that's been a bit funny. So I think I'll spray a bit more in there, maybe do a little bit more cleaning. You can probably see a little bit of carbon in there still. But you see in the before picture, it was all black and coked up, and that looks a lot better. So I'm going to give it a few more sprays and then I'm going to put it back together, so I'll bring you back in a minute. So that ring I've cleaned now, and you've got these 3 wheels that the ring sits on. So I'm going to try and film this and fit the ring back on and then bolt the turbo back into the housing. Okay, I'm going to attempt to fit the ring. Now, the notch here where the arm's little nib goes in, if you make sure you leave these dowels in for the wheels, then it goes in where this empty hole is. So what you've got to do first get these wheels on. It's a bit fiddly, but can be done with a bit of patience. Right. Right, then you have to adjust each notch into its area. Nearly got it. Just need to adjust this one. It's a bit of a fiddly job, but get that one over there. And that one over there. Okay, I think we're nearly done it now, I think. And we're in. Took a bit of time, but push that pin in a little bit more. That's nice and smooth now. Lovely jubbly. Right, on to the next part for fitting the turbo. Now we're going to get the turbo back in its place. Now on the turbo there's a location pin, and then there's a little locator there. So if we match that up with that, we should hopefully get this nib to fit in that bit there. So let's give it a go. Now I think we're in. Now let me see if that lines up with the two marks I made. Yep. So now we just need to give it a few little taps with the hammer, which I can't find. I don't know where to put it now. But anyway, I'll just tap this in a bit more and then we'll bolt it in. And after you located it in, it's a simple case of bolting it back down with your 13. What I recommend is you squirt some WD or penetrating fluid into the holes, just in case you want to take it off again for whatever reason. So rather than bore you with you watching me turn these nuts, I'm just going to do them all, and then we'll go back to the next stage. Okay, nuts are all tightened up, turbo's all back in. Another thing I forgot to mention is, when you separate the turbo, I'm not sure if this counts for the electronic one, but as you can see mine's a vacuum operated one. You have to remove this. Well, yeah, you have to remove this. And again, it's very easy, it's just two 8mm bolts. So I'll fit this back on, and then the next time you see me upload, I'll be putting the turbo back on the car.